We're here today with Lynbrook Village historian Art Mattson at the Lynbrook Public Library. He's taken out some of the items that live in the library's archives to talk to us a little bit about the history of Lynbrook.
Here with Alina Volk from Lynbrook TV.
Do you have any advice for budding historians or the next generation of Lynbrookites that might want to dig deeper into the history?
Well, I think if they even just get started with one little item, and I would have some ideas for what they could do. We have newspapers in our collection, and also they're online, that can inspire a particular story, whether it's the shocking death of some person during the Depression, where one Lynbrook resident, for example, jumped out of a building, a Wall Street building. He was so upset with having lost his money. That kind of a story could become a small article that you could write for the local paper. They love getting that. The Lynbrook Herald loves getting submissions. And you will find, but be prepared, once you get into this, you will want to do more. And it really, as I say, it becomes compelling. I helped found the Lynbrook Historical Society about well over 20 years ago. It has merged with the East Rockaway Historical Society, and it's now the East Rockaway and Lynbrook Historical Society. You could go online and find the Historical Society of East Rockaway and Lynbrook and contact them by way of either Facebook or their website. Alina, what would you suggest that I show next?
Okay. How about that fantastic silver urn?
Yeah, I love this one. This is really great. Now, I do have a close-up of this that I'll have you show because it's very hard for you to see this on the TV screen. Best Ladies Road Rig. Won by Mrs. Harry Schultz with her driving horse, Sunland Joy. Lynbrook Driving Park, July 4th, 1896. It's silver plated and it's gotten quite dark with age, as happens. So you might wonder, Driving Park Rig. Driving Park and Lynbrook's Driving Park. Where was that? It was Lynbrook's racetrack, just north of Peninsula Boulevard, which was not even a road back then. It was a right-of-way for the water company of Brooklyn to run a pipe through there. Just north of that, in fact, there's still a street up that way called Driving Park Road or Avenue, I can't quite remember. That's where the Lynbrook's racetrack was, and Driving Park. And it was a place where on a Saturday or maybe a Sunday afternoon, mostly Saturdays, they would have events there, quarter horse racing, rigs would be driven in races, and also on a 4th of July, this would be a time when everyone would come out from town and fireworks would be exploded and cannons shot into the air. And this woman won this trophy for her rig. That would be the wagon behind the horse, a kind of a show wagon that she would drive. That racetrack was there from the 1870s until about 1906. So quite a while, at least 30 years we had a racetrack right here in Lynbrook. And this is a great memory of that.
How did you go about obtaining this trophy?
A fellow from Grant, Pennsylvania, not a relative of Mrs. Schultz, but someone who had acquired this somehow through an auction, whatever, or maybe a house sale, something like that, an estate sale. he called me because he knew he found out that I was the historian of Lynbrook, and he wanted to get the best price he could for it. And so he figured I'd be the one most interested in getting this here in Lynbrook. And boy, was I interested. I had to just keep my heart from fluttering when I saw the image of what he had actually put online. He was going to sell it on eBay, but he tried me first. So I actually purchased this myself from him, trying to suppress my eagerness so this price wouldn't go too high. So that's how I got it. Most of these other objects, this is the only one that came by way of purchase. Everything else here was donated.
Art, can you tell us about the care and maintenance that goes into maintaining these artifacts?
Sure. It used to be that when you had historical objects, and I will also include things like historical monuments or houses, whatever, that people would want to clean them up and improve them and make them just nicer. And so you take this cup, for example. They would polish this up, make it nice and bright. But what you're doing is you're beginning to wear away the silver polish, the silver coating of this. And so let's take the monument to the Bristol, New Mexico, down at the cemetery. When I first got involved in that marble monument was being planned to be recarved. And it's because the letters were not as visible as when the monument was new. So that was the plan. Several organizations were lining up money to do that. And I objected because the thing that's done today by archaeologists and also preservationists is to try to keep things as close to their original physical shape as you can. And so now at the cemetery, for example, we have signboards that tell you what's written on the monument, rather than, in effect, carving once again into the monument and effacing, in a sense, what is there. That something can be old and look old, like me. That's okay. It doesn't have to be brought back to some original shape. And this, what you see, this iron spike and this iron rail, you don't want to mess with that. You don't want to mess with this object. You want it to be as close to what its natural condition would be. So that's been a change in the way that historical objects have been maintained. Not trying to buff them up and shine them up and carve them up and do things that actually, in some meaningful way, destroy what nature has done to it naturally. This bell, for example, my goodness, yes, I could get brass polish on this, and this would look beautiful, shiny bell. But that's not what we do these days. We try to keep things in the naturally aged condition that nature says they should be, and at this point of let's call it their life.